Y'all, what the fuck is this? Huh? I found this in my basement, bro. My cat was like swinging at something. I was doing laundry. I look in the corner of my eye, my cat swinging at something. I'm like, yo, don't play with nothing like that. I look over, this is what I see. I don't recognize that. Hello? I don't recognize that. I sent that to my pops. He didn't even recognize it, bro. I was terrified, worried. This is my first time ever seeing his like a fucking parasite. Is it a parasite? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Bro checked eventually, like I swear, he checked. And the only thing I was really worried about was making sure that I never see that again. And then I got on YouTube, and the first video that I see suggested was this. I got a pet bloodworm. Yes, really. Huh? If that's not YouTube telling me, yo, you might as well watch this video, bro, because this might have been what was in your room, then I don't know what is. So I'm gonna get to this, bro.
This is a bloodworm,
bro,
and it is the creepiest, most disgusting creature ever. It even has 4 venomous fangs in each corner of its mouth that you definitely don't want to get bit by. Now
Bro think he Coyote Peterson? He letting this thing bite him?
Known for keeping the weirdest pets, so of course I found a website that sells them as a live bait for fishing. Yeah, literally nobody buys these as
you
pets.
just buying bloodworms. Did I have a bloodworm?
Which means I'm gonna get to show off the crazy
in my basement?
abilities of these guys. So hey, let's just check this thing out. And after a couple of days, a truck dropped off the package at my house.
That is the worst thing ever, bro. I'm actually gonna throw up this video, dog. There's no way you out here raw dog in this box. No gloves.
Let's just check them out.
Underneath all the packing material were the bloodworms. So using some tweezers, I carefully removed one to take a closer look. And yep, this is a bloodworm. You can see that they are absolutely disgusting looking, and their mouth is even able to extend out of their body like an alien. But at the end of this part that expands are their venomous fangs, which they use to lash onto stuff like shrimp in the ocean, which I'll be showing off very soon. Now, one thing though, I actually bought 12 of these bloodworms that I'm gonna have to keep all in the same aquarium. So yeah, this is gonna be a nightmare. Now for the build, I'm gonna put in some aqua soil and a dirt mix. Eventually, we're gonna completely fill it with water because that's how bloodworms live in the wild. But for now, I just put a tiny bit of water in. So whatever was in my basement could not have been a bloodworm. I know that for sure. If any of y'all recognize what that was, bro, like, let me know in the comments or something, please.
And the water is
because I do not want to.
So yeah, I drained the water, scooped out the dirt, and I washed off the sink. Then I put the soil back in, covered it in a thin layer of sand, and added the water back. As you can see now, the water stays fantastically clear.
Okay.
This mound here in the middle will be where I build all the decorations, and I'll even be putting in some red plants, and then finally filling it all up with water. First of all, let's get some pieces of wood in.
Because it could be boring up in there for the bloodworms, and they could just be out there
coming from the middle,
nasty stuff.
Nice. I didn't want them sticking out the top though,
I'm not about to sit here and decorate a home for the bloodworm.
Planted them in the sand below to give the whole wood structure a more fuller
As a
look. Now
bloodworm,
it's
you're not
time
even
for the
gonna
rocks.
appreciate the
And you may
decorations.
think these are just called river
They only got
rocks,
one
but in
purpose.
fact, that is not true. This one on the left is actually called an elderly boulder, and this one on the right is called a black venom boulder. Now those are some cool names. Just wanted to say thank you to whoever named them.
But the best rock I have is insane. It's actually not a rock at all. It's actually wood. Yeah, just like what I already got in there.
Yeah, it's called petrified wood, and basically millions of years ago, it was buried under the earth and turned into a rock over time.
Before this wooden rock back here, I've actually
that's a wooden rock, like a legit wooden rock.
I've got a little can of sardine, which you basically just open by pulling the.
Yeah, buddy.
It broke off. Okay, attempt 2. Basically,
you trying to feed them bloodworms
that? And inside there's
do you plan on
like dead fish that you eat.
Now with the sardines, I actually went and put one of them under this petrified wood. I'm doing this because I want to test to see if the bloodworms have a smell ability and whether they'll be able to find the sardine under it, dig it out.
I need to figure this out.
That should be pretty fun
what I was looking at.
Anyways, now I want to get some red aquatic plants in here. So I drove to Petco so I could buy some.
All right, I'm at Petco and I'm hoping they got some red plants in stock today.
Yo, I was at Petco the other day and then I seen a ferret and I was thinking about getting them, bro. He kept jumping at me on a cage.
Instead, I had to drive home and go buy some online. Thankfully, though, there was a ton of websites with some nice reddish plants on them,
and I'm like,
so I went and added a bunch of them to my
stinky ferret. I'm cool on that.
But hey, I say it's worth it for these.
I don't know though. Maybe sometime in the future I might.
Since I bought the one-day delivery, the next day I got the package with all of the red plants inside. So I took them all out and started to put them around random parts in the sand. Now, if few of the plants they gave me weren't actually red. They were very green, but it's okay because I was starting to like the look of how it was all coming together.
Bro,
I also
it's
ended up getting these red ruby crystals that I scattered along the floor of the enclosure to add a bit more red in here to match that bloodworm color, of course. But as you can probably tell, I've been keeping the two sides of this enclosure completely empty.
Let me see, bro.
And that's because I want to build some custom DIY builds on both sides that the 12 bloodworms will be able to interact with. First of all, on the right side, I'm going to make a little cave they can all hide in. Now, in an old video, I learned this cool trick where you get out a basket, cut a hole in the front, and cover it in rocks to make your very own cave. So I'm going to do it again, but this time with 3 different baskets to make a triple decker cave. So I went and cut the front of the baskets off, the entrance, sanded them down a bit so it wasn't sharp, and I covered the baskets in a ton of spray foam. Because let's be real, it wouldn't be a Carrot Green video without it. And then I started to carve it out to make it look like the spray foam was the actual rocks of the cave. Anyways, here is the finished triple decker cave. Looks good.
Charcoal,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's just get
it's
this
a little bit. It's selling. It can sell. It can sell us like some rock or weird texture. It can sell us something though, for real.
Not about the looks.
That look like y'all watch Steven Universe. That's like that look like the house that Amethyst came out of.
All right, now time for the left side's DIY build, and this time I've got something interesting. It's a food platter. Basically, I'm gonna prepare a bunch of different foods for the bloodworms. That way, I'll be able to see which they like the most once I get them inside. So, anyways, I drove to Walmart to do some food shopping.
They look like hanging meat, like seriously. And then I see this. They look just like this though. You know what I'm saying? Like some hanging meat,
was some beef. Now, if you remember, this is actually the same stuff I fed in my video where I got pet leeches. And if you saw that, you probably remember they absolutely loved it. Like, I was having trouble getting them off of it, so of course I bought some of that for the bloodworms. But I also went over to the fish aisle and decided to buy some salmon, which are a type of saltwater fish, which usually live with bloodworms in the wild. So I figured they might like that. And also in that aisle, I got some shrimp because when you search on Google what bloodworms like to eat, it says shrimp.
Can they go?
Nothing else works. They should at least eat
Yo, what is the purpose of a bloodworm?
Finally, I went to the aquarium aisle to buy some of these fish pellets, because who knows, maybe the bloodworms will eat those too. Once I got home, I got out all the foods in the order I'll be feeding them to the bloodworms. It's gonna be crazy to watch their fangs absolutely rip this food to shreds, and I'm even gonna show some unseen stuff about these bloodworms. But as you know, I got these bloodworms from a website I had never been on before, and I had no idea if it was safe. Whenever I buy pets for these videos, I make sure always to have a VPN
he basically got it
which is why I'm excited this video is sponsored by
trying to give me an ad, bro.
Surf
Back
food,
to it. I skip ads,
it would get
bro.
soggy if I kept it inside.
Yeah, I'll put this back in there very soon. But for now, I'm just gonna store it in my fridge to keep it fresh.
Now, of course, I had to start filling it up with water so the bloodworms would be able to swim around.
Mutant.
But when it got to like 30% full, I kind of realized a big problem.
Oh shoot, bro! I don't know how I didn't think of this, but bloodworms, they live on the beaches of oceans.
What's the problem?
And the beaches of oceans have salt water. I've been making this a freshwater tank. I've been putting fresh water in it.
But it's okay, because thankfully in the corner of my garage, I just have 2 big cartons of Pacific Ocean water, sourced straight from the ocean. Don't ask why I have this. I just do. Anyways, I drained out a little bit of the fresh water and started to add in the ocean salt water. And by the time it was filled up, the salt level was 0.02, which is perfect for bloodworms.
All right, all the right water parameters have been met in here, so the bloodworms are good.
I ain't messing with no bloodworms still, but it does mean the $200 on
freshwater plants I spent is gonna go down the drain. Yeah, these are all about to die.
Since they were all gonna die, I wanted to replace the red theme in here, so I got this heatless red lamp. As you can see, it makes the water have this red tint to it,
the red theme is gonna
you gotta have the water at least look a little bit like blood.
I won't be able to see the bloodworms because
now I also need to get snails inside of here so they can eat any
and he has so many leaves around and all the decorations. I feel like the bloodworms are gonna be hiding and just chilling.
They're called nerite
snails. They're pretty nasty. Why are we still messing with bloodworms in the first place?
So I got a few of those and put them inside the bloodworm tank. Once they got used to the water, a few of them came out their shells and started to move about the glass. Now I think these guys should be safe from bloodworms because of their shells, but I'm not gonna give the 100% guarantee. So sorry guys if you get eaten by the bloodworms. Now for the final touch of this tank. What I did is I actually went and found this cool picture of a beware of the dog sign, and I went and asked AI to change it to a beware of the worm sign.
Oh my gosh, look at what it generated.
That is you know what? That is great use of AI, y'all. Great use of AI.
So I printed it, attached it to a piece of cardboard to make it a sign, and there we go, a beware of worm sign. I then even went and spiced up the enclosure a little bit by splattering some red paint along the sides to make it look like blood. How long does he plan on keeping these bloodworms?
There we go, 100%.
I noticed in the beginning of the video he said he got like 6 other type of worms or pets or whatever. I'm gonna have to check those videos out, bro. But do we keep these things forever? How long does bloodworms like take to die?
And the worm kind of just sank down to the bottom and started moving around randomly. And yeah, well, this is kind of all bloodworms do. They just wiggle about, and occasionally they'll burrow under the sand, which is where they spend most of their lives. And as you can see, it didn't take this guy long until he started to do just that. But I guess he got bored of the digging, because eventually he just came out and started to wiggle about again above the sand.
Bro, like,
before this guy starts to burrow under the sand again, let's get to feeding him some food, see which bloodworms like the most, and we're gonna be starting with just some little fish pellets. I'm not fish sure pellets. If they're gonna eat this.
I be out here like,
let's put them inside.
But there was a slight problem because, as you can see, the fish food was floating, and I feel like the bloodworm isn't just gonna swim up to it. So instead, I picked it up with some tweezers and moved it towards the worm. And as you can see, when I moved it towards him, he actually went and flashed his fangs at me for the first time. I thought this surely meant he was hungry, so I started to wait the entire time I'm watching this video. But like, bruh,
this is actually nasty. Do you see that? Y'all watch that Demon Slayer movie, bruh? That's like, I ain't trying to put no spoilers, but that looked like one of the demons. It looked like a closed eye.
For some reason, these worms were not wanting anything to do with it. Now, I actually think bloodworms need to have their mouth more extended and their fangs showing in order for them to eat food.
Why is that?
And right now, their mouths are retracted because I think they're stressed. So what I did was I actually went and put all of the 12 bloodworms in the aquarium and just kind of let them do their thing. My thinking was, if I left them alone for a few hours in the tank, they'd start to get used to it, and then they would eat. After a while, I went and took one of the bloodworms out and put him on land. I waited a little bit for him to shoot his mouth out, and when he did, I grabbed it with tweezers. Now you can really get a good look at the fangs, and what makes these fangs so cool is they're actually made of copper. Yeah, like the metal you find underground, and they're the only animal in the world with copper teeth. Anyways, with the bloodworm, I brought it up to the third food source, which is of course beef, and after kind of like shoving his face in it, he instantly bit down with all 4 of his fangs and started to devour this piece of meat and to suck all the juices out.
Wow, it took a long time for me to get a bloodworm to eat a piece of meat, but dang, that is so cool when they do grab on, because look, I'm shaking it, like literally it doesn't want to come off. It's like, I'm eating this, do not take it away. So I think I'm gonna go try that same thing with the last food source, which is
this is disgusting.
And once one of the other worms shot out their mouth, I once again grabbed it, and this time put the shrimp in front of it. He also immediately grabbed onto it, and now these 2 bloodworms were having the time of their lives eating up the food. After like an hour, I went and removed the food from them, which was pretty hard. I had to like kind of shake them off.
Holy, that was actually kind of cool to watch, and it looks like you can see the little bite mark where the worm was biting. And remember, these guys are venomous.
Yo, I'm actually disgusted, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
End of this. However, I actually have one more good idea. Let me go get some.
Bro, you need to stop thinking. Every time I look up, there's an idea.
All right, come on in. Of course, I'm gonna show you a new pet. Just take a look. This one's gonna be quick.
Where your mom at?
You can see the pets in there, right?
Oh my gosh.
You know what those are?
My name, Dartle Duck.
Leeches, snakes.
Well, yeah,
I'm joking, bro. Shout out you and your moms, man. No disrespect. I'm just trolling.
These are actually bloodworms.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, mom.
Tentacles.
He's playing.
Yeah, actually,
talking about tentacles.
Yeah,
bro.
So that purple right there, that's the mouth of the worm.
That is like dirty.
And if you look very, very closely, you see those 4 little fangs on it.
Oh my gosh, that's so this is probably the most disgusting thing yet.
I know, that's what I'm thinking, and yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, me too,
guys,
agreed.
These are pet bloodworms for you, and I think I'm starting to see why they were only sold as live bait for fishing. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Make
Is that
sure
their
to like
purpose? Just live bait for fishing, bro? That's such a cute dog, man, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you for the education, I guess, man. I don't know. I don't want to see no bloodworms. I don't want to see no parasites, whatever that is that was in my basement. I don't want to see none of it no more, okay? But I appreciate you making this video, y'all. Bro, my boy Terra Green, I appreciate you making the video, and you know what I'm saying. Y'all have a good day. I appreciate y'all sticking around. If you stuck around to the end of the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It's your boy Young Dartle Duck, and you know how it is, man. I'm up out of here. I'll see y'all next time.